Hey guys, welcome to Healthy with Heartland. You're cooking with Chef Arden. Welcome to Season 2, guys. Season 1, we covered basics on how to approach certain types of proteins, how to do certain kinds of cooking techniques, all to lay that foundation. What I have here today to work with that perfect indoor life hack is our signature Cheshire white breed coming from Heritage Farms Baby Back Ribs. Now this was a full rack, which I did cut in half. It does make it easier to handle, especially for a home cook. This is the choice of the choice, guys. The flavor is going to be absolutely outstanding. Rule number 1 when working with ribs, you need to check on the bottom. You see this little white layer? That's not actually fat. There is no flavor in that at all. That is something called silver skin. It helps separate proteins from the bones in the actual animal. If you try to eat it, you're just going to be chewing on it forever. You could choke on it. It's inedible, guys. So you want to remove it. First things first. It's on a dry surface. Take a knife that you can work well with. I suggest using a paring knife. You want to take the cutting edge right here, just the tip, and you want to make sure that you are a little aggressive. Now make sure you're using your knuckles, and you want to just drag it across the bone. And then from there, you should just be able to use your finger and just peel it right off. We've dabbed it a little dry with a paper towel. Depends on how wet it is. You want to make sure you have like a damp surface, not that it's soaking wet, because you really want your spice rub to stick on it. So step 2 about making the best ribs is that you need to have a good solid spice rub. I like to kind of make mine, I call mine a dirt. And this is my little secret recipe here. We've got a blend of herbs, also some similar spices that you've seen me use before. A simple recipe would be something along the lines of like garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder, salt, and pepper. That is your absolute basic. You can get as creative as you'd like with that. So you want to season liberally. You don't have to worry about seasoning high because you want to make sure you're getting this really just heavy paste on it almost. The dampness of the pork is imperative because you really just want it to cake on there. I'm a firm believer is that you got to show love to the whole thing. You can't just pick and choose and cherry pick what you do to it. You got to spread that love evenly all the way around. You want that nice thick paste. It should come out looking something like this. You can see you've got that nice caked amazing flavor on there, and that's going to become something called a bark. So we've just seasoned these ribs. Now typically this would be the time that you put them into the smoker and let them go for as many hours as you like, but if you're a cook working from home like we are here, I'll show you the best way to get the best possible flavor out of that. So we're going to use a piece of tin foil. Okay, you want to make sure you match it just about twice the length of your rib. We're going to lay that down right in front here. We're going to be creating just a little bit of a boat. So you want to use one piece for one piece. You don't want to try to overload them. This is almost a take on a classic French technique called un papillote, which is basically taking a piece of wax paper. A lot of time you see using that for fish, but it pretty much acts like a small pressure cooker. It steeps and cooks in its own juices, so you create that very tender but expressive flavor in a more indirect way. But we're also going to be combining that too with another technique called barding. Now, barding is a technique that you use with proteins that are typically dry and lean. It's when you add fat in the cooking process. So what this is going to basically do is help add just a little bit of a buffer. Now you don't want to use, that's probably about like 2 tablespoons worth of butter. That's perfect. So once you have it like that, you literally just have to wrap it up and wrap it up just like a birthday present. You want to have your oven preheated anywhere between 300 and 325. You don't want to go too much higher than that, depending on how many ribs you're cooking and how large your oven is. That way we're not overcooking it too quickly because these do have to hit the grill eventually to get that nice finishing flavor when we add our sauce. So we're going to come back in about 45 minutes or so and give that a check. You should temp it anywhere around like 135 to 140 before you pull them out because we'll be finishing cooking them on the grill. guys, let's take these out to the grill. Let's go. Okay, so we're now out of the grill. This thing at about 550 degrees. These things are pretty much cooked, all right? At this point, we want that nice candied char on the sauce. So we basted one side. So very carefully with your tongs, you want to lay down sauce side first.